Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tara and I make videos about digital planning and different ways that you can get creative with your iPad. So if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, feel free to hit that subscribe button. What do I usually say? So if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, feel free to hit the like button, what am I saying? Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've recorded a video and not just done a live stream. So if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, feel free to, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell so that you never miss a video. That all being said, let's go ahead and jump into the purpose of today's video, which is to share with you my sticker launch for January. I'm really excited about these stickers. A lot of you that have been around for a while, you know that I am currently in France. I decided to do my holiday away from home this year. I just needed a way, I needed a break, and I needed to be around my friends. And I lived abroad for several years, and so when I came back to my hometown, most people were gone, and the majority of my friends that I talk to regularly live really far away. So I actually had several friends who were going to be in Paris for Christmas, so it just made sense for us to all kind of do a little Misfits Christmas in Paris. And I'm actually really glad that my Patreon patrons who voted on this theme decided that they wanted me to do a French theme. So that was a ton of fun creating that, taking pictures and feeling inspired to, make things based on my experiences and what I'm doing currently. So I just wanted to say thank you especially to my Patreon patrons who have always been there and who have helped me to come up with a bunch of creative ideas and who inspire me to continue to create all the time. But without further ado, let me share with you what these sticker sets look like. So I went through a little bit of debating on what I was actually going to do as far as my approach. And I did decide to do things a little bit differently this time, but I did end up going with the 3 different color palettes like I typically do. So just so we're clear, I always release 3 color palettes per sticker set that I do, like each month. So if you're on Patreon or if you want to subscribe, I'll leave the links below. My first tier, my Daisy Divas, they get 1 sticker set with the highest voted color palette. But if you are in any of the other tiers, you get access to 3 different color palettes each month. Also, I apologize for my voice. It's a little shaky at times because I am getting over being sick, so sometimes my voice just kind of sounds like a little weak. But moving on. So if you are in one of the tiers that get the 3 different color palettes, keep in mind that the sticker sets are all the same. It's only the colors that change. And then from month to month, I always keep my first 2 pages the same. So I personally prefer to have a balance of functional stickers and also themed stickers that I can pair together and they'll just look very seamless. Just my personal approach. Works really well for me. And so for that reason, my first 2 pages are basically always identical. So the only thing that I changed here is that I took off the flowers that have always been here. I initially designed these with a sort of retro geometric design in mind when I created these over a year ago. And that the flower there worked really well for that. But there have been months where I just try to cover it up and it works most of the time, but sometimes it's just kind of a nuisance. So I did go ahead and remove that. Let me know what you guys think about that change. As you can see here, this is the first color palette. For me, it's kind of giving Frozen vibes. I love it so much. I think it's a really perfect January or winter palette. Just feels so gorgeous to me. It's like an icy mermaid. Yeah, I think that's a good description. But here's page 2. So like I said, everything here is generally the same. The only thing I did change, of course, is some of the washi tape. So I typically swap these out just a little bit. I kept the snowflakes because, hi, it's January. I also kept the plaid just because I'm a personal fan and I think that it works really well. This is the only one that changed. So this is a cute little fleur-de-lis pattern. So it's got the fleur-de-lis and then it's got these cute little circles and little sort of like snowflake kind of things, which keeps it kind of wintry, but also still keeps it with the French theme. And so I actually really like those. I think they look pretty nice. But everything else here is the same, very functional. I just love this stuff. Functional stickers are the best. But here's where we get into our theme page. So I don't know why, but when I think of France and like artwork, I very commonly think of these like sketchy doodles. And so I took a lot of photos and I started like sketching out or tracing over like the monuments and stuff, or just from photos that I had, and just like traced over those, and then I doodled the other things. My favorite probably is honestly the metro sign. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. But we've got some macarons, this cute key, and there's a couple fun things here. So if you don't know, first of all, bonne année means like Happy New Year in French. So I've got that here on the champagne and also on this card. Here's a fun little note that in France, instead of doing Christmas cards, they typically do New Year cards, which I thought was fun. So I wanted to put that in here. And also another thing that they do is mistletoe is typically associated with the New Year and not Christmas. So I had to put it in here. I thought these were kind of fun little cultural tidbits that I wanted to include. But of course we have champagne with a little towel that says 2024, the champagne glasses here, a little sparkler. We have a rooster here, which is like the French national animal. Another fleur-de-lis, of course, some confetti, and then we've got like a baguette, this cute little sort of like passport stamp, the Moulin Rouge, and then some macarons. We've got like a stack of 3, and then we've got this one, and this cute key, and I don't know, also these like fun lamps feel very French to me, so I included one of those. And then I am personally just like obsessed. I've been walking around and on windows everywhere, I just keep seeing this like design or something like reminiscent of this design with just these like branches with leaves and these little circles and sort of like star shapes. And they're all over a bunch of the windows. And I don't know if they're all owned by like the same owner and they just hired the same artist or like what, but they're all over the place. And so it's like, obviously I have to include something that's like reminiscent of that. So this is a similar concept, just a lot of the, I guess, designs that I've been seeing like all over these windows. So I thought that would be fun to include. Also, these are kind of like string lights. I put them up here because their shape is really obnoxious. So I'll show you if I grab the image tool here. The like bounding box around it is just so obnoxiously shaped that if I put it anywhere else, it makes it, I either have to have like a huge open space, or when you go to tap on it, it's going to overlap with another one. So I just tried to push them up here so they're not such a nuisance. But there's that one, and then also you can see this bounding box just comes a little bit over the metro sign, but not too bad. So it's mostly up here. But that's why that's like not within the lines, in case that bothers anyone like it does to me. But then of course we have obviously like the Eiffel Tower, we have Notre Dame, Sacré-Cœur, and L'Arc de Triomphe. So we've got some beautiful French sites. And yeah, that pretty much covers it. I wanted to have this like sketchy doodle, but obviously it doesn't like directly match with anything that's going on here. So you have a couple options. I always leave the hex codes. So you can of course use the hex codes and color in yourself, which I thought would be kind of fun to just like doodle and have it sort of be like a coloring book kind of vibe. Or I did include just a page of sort of like random swatches of like a watercolor-esque blob effect, and you can kind of layer these or play with them or whatever. So I'll just show you how like that looks. For example, I'll just copy one of these and bring it over, and yeah, it's just kind of, it like brings a little color, and you can choose, you know, what you put it on. And you could layer, you know, these too, which could be kind of fun. I don't know. You just play around with it, have some fun, do what you want to do. I'll just get rid of that now. But yeah, those are some options. So I've got them in all different sizes, and you can choose to use them or not use them. You can color things in, but I just wanted to have like a color option just in case. So let's go ahead and move on to the other palettes. But this first one is the one that will be sent out to my Daisy Divas. And then the next two, plus this one, are the ones that are available to all of my other Patreon tiers. So this is the second color palette. This one I also really, really love. It's got like a wintry feel, but it's also got that like lovey, almost Valentine's-y kind of feel, even though it's not Valentine's Day yet. But it gives that like, oh, I don't know, Paris in love kind of vibe. So I don't know. I just really like these colors. I feel like they're excellent. Yeah. So like I said, everything on these first two pages is the same. And then of course you get the doodle page and you get the swatches. And then the last color palette, this one I really love. It reminds me of like, I don't know, it reminds me honestly of more like France in summer. Like I feel like if I take a lot of photos or something, like I feel like these are the kind of colors that I would pick out. I'm pretty sure these are actually taken from a photo of like a monument or something in France. I don't remember. My process generally includes me taking like a bunch of photos, some mine, some from like commercial free sites, and picking out colors with like a color picker. And so I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that this one is from like a photo of like a monument or something in France. But it has sort of a warm feel, but yet it's still kind of cool. I don't know. It's cozy, very natural toned, but still has that warmth, I think, from the orange and like that kind of brown tone. I just personally actually really enjoy this color palette in general. I think it's a beautiful color palette, but I will say that because of this like dark brown and even the dark green, that the watercolor is a bit rough. Like I feel like the watercolor effect works so much better with like lighter colors, in my personal opinion. But that's just me, I guess. I don't know. But I do really personally love this color palette. I think it's gorgeous. Of course, you've got this page, and then, yeah, maybe you can see what I mean. The green is actually not as bad as I remember, but I don't really love the brown. It's just a bit much. So, yeah. But you don't have to use it if you don't want to. So that's always fun. And like I said, you can color them in, and I think they'll look really nice coloring in with like the highlighter. So let me just kind of show you what I mean by that. The beautiful thing about coloring with the highlighter, I don't have the colors preset, but you'll still be able to kind of get the picture. So you can color, and I would tend to like, oops, my thing glitched. But I would tend to color it all in one if you can, and then turn on your precision eraser. And then you can go in and you can just carefully just erase away. And then you've got this, you know, beautiful colored in artwork. And I just think that this would be super relaxing. I think it would be so much fun. And you could always save those as elements when you're done. And you can just copy and paste them throughout if you don't want to color them repeatedly. But it's just so pretty. Is it not? Like, I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, you could color it all in one pen stroke or one highlighter stroke, really, and then go in and use the precision eraser on that. And the nice thing is that it actually like places it below the black line as opposed to being placed above it, where like if you use your pen tool, it's gonna go, I actually thought that it would go on top. It doesn't. So that's really good news. I learned something new with you guys today. I thought it was only the highlighter tool that did that. So yeah, you have the option. You can go with the highlighter, or you can do the pen tool. That's actually really great news in my opinion. So how fun is that? I just love it. I love it so much. But anyway, obviously you would do the whole thing. The nice thing about being able to do that with the pen tool is that when you layer the pen tool, it like still all blends seamlessly, where if I were to pick up my pencil or my highlighter and then go again, you're going to have the overlaps there, which maybe that's a look that you're going for. It's usually not for me unless it's very intentional. So yeah, that's one of the perks. I am so happy that the pen tool also goes underneath that. I don't know why I thought it didn't. I don't know if it used to be layered on top and that's why I have this idea in my head, or if I was just mistaken all along, but this is good news. So have fun with that. So anyway, yeah, that's it for my sticker sets for January. I am going to talk about my digital planner for the rest of this video. So if you want to hear what I have to say, feel free to stick around. And basically what I've decided to do, I'll jump to the beginning here. I decided that I was going to update my previous year's planner because I actually really do like it. I spent a lot of time on it. There's a lot of functional stuff in there. And to be honest, I also just kind of ran out of time with my trip and everything that I needed to prepare, and just it being the end of the year and the end of the month, and all the deadlines were coming together. So I have updated this one. I'm very excited to share it all with you. But that being said, there is a possibility that in January or February, I might release 1 to 2 other planners. We'll see. I'm toying with the idea of creating a bullet journal, which is something I've been actually trying to develop for multiple years now. But it's just one of those things, like one of those projects that just keeps getting pushed back or like just put on the back burner. It's not prioritized. And hopefully this year is the year that I finally do it. But that one won't necessarily have to be like year specific, is sort of what I have intended, but we'll see. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, maybe I'll finally get that out. I have a lot of ideas for things I want to create, and just the time doesn't exist, so I have to prioritize. But I do want to get out a bullet journal. I would love to create like a whole new planner for 2024 completely from scratch, but we'll see. Maybe that will have to be a release that comes out in the summer for like people who are students or teachers who are looking for that sort of like August start or July start planner. We'll see, but this isn't necessarily like the end of creating planners or anything for me for the next several months. I've just been honestly too busy lately, so this is what you get. I personally love it. I'm happy to use it again, but I did make a few changes, so I'm done babbling. Let's actually talk about the stuff. So I decided to just stick with a neutral color. I almost went black here, but I kept the gray. I'm happy with it for now. But if you want to see like a full walkthrough of everything that's in here, feel free to check out my walkthrough video. I'll link that below from last year. It's essentially the same. I'm just going to talk about the changes that I made here. So of course I changed everything that said 2023 to 2024, changed all the dates and the links and everything so that it's compatible with the new year. And one thing I changed stylistically is I removed the colors here and I just made these lines, which I think is a much cleaner look. I love this. I think it's so just simple, beautiful. If you want to color code this yourself, you can. You have that option. I love this. And the same goes here. So anything that you want to color, you can. Totally up to you. Of course, this is 2024 now. I removed, so you can see it here and also here. There were like, on a lot of the pages, there was a rectangular bar of color. That has since been removed just to keep it very simple. Yep, same here. So that's really like one of the biggest things you'll notice as you flip through, if you've had this before, is that just all of the blocks of color have basically just been removed. Also, it's a leap year, so we have 366 days, so I made sure to include that. That was almost forgotten. Again, no colors. I did finally make these updates where before it just said through 31 on all the months, and I had already released it, and I was like, why did I do that? Because there aren't 31 days in every single month. So I did clean that up and remove the days that don't exist from the mood tracker. And then, yeah, again, just missing the colors. So let's go ahead. The next thing we'll see is January. So no colors. I actually love this because if you watch my Plan With Me videos, I always end up like changing the colors and having to cover things up and use elements to kind of block stuff out. But I'm hopefully gonna have to do a little bit less of that this year with this kind of layout. So I did move this stuff a little bit and I made more space for the notes section here. Is that what I did? I should compare. I moved this down, I moved this up, and I think there was like an extra section or something here that I removed. So it's just all the dotted space here. This is all the same. And then this is all just plain lines. There's no blocks of color here, which is, yes, like I said, something I'm looking forward to. I made this whole space just blank. There's not like the designated squares here. You can create and do whatever you want. That's easy enough to like do on your own and customize in Goodnotes. And then I also made this space entirely dotted instead of it being separated as well. So I think this will be nice. And if I end up covering it up anyway, then it doesn't really matter. But I thought it would be good to have the extra sort of just automatic line spacing there for anyone who doesn't do all of the extra decorating that I do. So I do personally like that. And then let's see, was there anything else that was changed throughout the months? No, just the removal of colors. And yeah, same for the daily layouts. So that's essentially everything. If I jump into the notes section, I did keep this gray because I just think for clarity, it's nice. And then, yeah, I think one of these links was broken on one of my planners, so I did fix all of those links. And let's jump to the 20th page and then come here. We've got the reading. There's just the block of colors missing. Yep, again, just clean lines. Blocks of colors are gone. Same here. This one I kept with like the gray. Just think that look works best for that layout, and same for this one. So I kept that all the same. Again, if you want to see like a full walkthrough of all of the pages that are in here, all the links and everything, that video will be linked in the description. But essentially it's all really kind of the same. I've just removed the blocks of color. Here I just kept the recipe stuff gray. I'm actually going to try my best to use this year. My New Year's resolution, in case anyone is interested, is learning to feed myself. It is such a basic human need. And I'm old enough that I can't keep like blaming my upbringing for the fact that I have no knowledge. I am starting from square one. It is going to be a huge task to try to figure out. And I think for people who like grew up in households where you were raised around grocery shopping and cooking and preparing things and, you know, just understanding like all of the inner workings of actually providing for yourself, it might not seem that difficult. But if you're someone that didn't grow up with that, it's like you have to think about 1,000 things every time you just want to like cook one meal for yourself, especially if you're not cooking for a family and you don't want to waste stuff. So like it's so hard to explain without feeling like I'm just like playing the victim, but I'm tired of that narrative. Like I want to be able to provide for myself in a healthy way, not just eat junk or things that I've like warmed up. Like I really want to be able to take care of myself. So I'm really hoping that I actually use this year, that I put some real staple recipes that I can go to anytime, that I keep most of the ingredients in my pantry, except for the things that need to be fresh, so that I can easily make sure that I always have ideas, that they're within the budget, that I have the supplies I need for the most part, and whatever else I need is like easy to get, not something that's going to like break the bank every time that I go shopping. So I might make a whole video about my journey. We'll see, depending on how it goes. But it is going to be such a huge task for me to figure out. But that's my New Year's resolution, because I'm an adult and I need to adult properly. It's an essential life skill. Okay, so anyway, I'm hoping I actually use this. And I'm not going to flip through all these because that will take ages. So we've also got like the blank pages in here. So I just went and updated these as well so that they're consistent with the themes. And you can add those in if you prefer these layouts whenever you want. And then I also did change these dates, luckily, so that they actually match the months. And I think that's it. That's yeah, everything. We've got our blank pages, but good. Okay, so that wraps up all the things. I feel like I've been talking forever now at this point, but yeah, that's everything I'm releasing going into January. You now know my resolutions, so hopefully I will stay accountable. Exciting things coming for January, I hope, because I'm finally having some time to myself. But I will share more on that in a future video because, like I said, I've babbled on long enough at this point. I will let you all go. Have a very happy new year. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in 2024. Bye!